Today, there are a number of tools that you can use which are sort of fun and interactive to help you understand the kind of predictions that GPT-2 makes. This is actually very useful both for getting a general sense of the capabilities of state-of-the-art text generation language models and also for more controlled evaluation. So one of these tools is the Giant Language Model Testing Room. This is courtesy of Sasha Rush, wonderful NLP researcher. And in this example, I've taken a couple of the cases of subordination from last time and looked at, it turns out you can use the model to look at predictions that the model is making. So I gave the example of the doctor study, the textbook. I chose the GPT-2 large model. And if I go through here, it's interactive enough that if I put in this input and the model will tell you, the interactive device will tell you what the model was predicting and where the word that you actually put landed in the conditional probability distribution given previous words in the context. So for us of interest was the question of how likely was the sentence to end, for example, immediately after the word textbook. And so for this context, which is a perfectly normal textbook, you can see this is in green. And if you highlight it, you can see that, well, a period is not the most likely thing to happen, and actually the most likely thing that the model expected to happen was the word and. But you can also see that the period is not incredibly improbable. In particular, there's a probability of 0.04 for a period. And I will contrast this with, I have up on the next tab, I have the example as the doctor studied the textbook period, which you saw was pretty terrible. And so let's go down here. We can highlight the word textbook, and you can see that, first of all, the conditional probability distribution of the most likely thing has changed, although the most likely continuations remain comma and. But now you can see that the probability of a sudden end has gone down by an order of magnitude. It's 0.003. So the model is actually capturing at least this contingency that it's more surprised to have a sentence suddenly end after an initial clause that has and than after an initial clause that doesn't have and. So that's a success in the simple subordination test that we saw earlier. Although I will actually say I think that a probability of 0.003 is probably still too high ultimately for human-like processing, although what counts as a human-like criterion is maybe an open question. Here's another interactive tool. This is courtesy of Hugging Face, which has a very nice, useful transformer interaction. Sorry, transformer API and implementation, and you can use it to do your own coding with GPT-2. And I took a couple of examples of contexts that we had studied before with that create expectations and requirements for upcoming verbs. And let's see how the model does. So the girl who the newspaper, and this I just chose the first continuation that it liked, refers to as the daughter of former Israeli defense minister Moshe Dayan, who is now an internationally known anti-Zionist activist. Let's see how it does in the verbs. So refers to is has newspaper as subject. You'll notice that there is a gap. The girl is being referred to by the newspaper, and then there is, so this is V2. If this is noun 1 and noun 2, this is V2, and then is V1. So it actually succeeds. And actually the entire sentence is a good continuation. Let's look at hardened continuation. The monologue that the actor through the movie industry. So this has an N1, an N2, and an N3. So is V3. The movie industry is currently touting. Who is the movie currently touting? Movie industry currently touting? The actor. So that's success. The next part is really hard to understand, but actually grammatically well formed. So there is a V2 here. So the movie industry is the movie industry is currently touting as the next bond. Who the movie industry is currently touting as the next bond is a relative clause, modifying actor. The actor makes the monologue about Israel. And then is V1. So this actually was a success as well, although the continuation seemed a little weird. Is very interesting, and not only because of its political context, and that it is an advertisement for the movie industry. So that little part, and as that it is an advertisement for the movie industry, is maybe the worst part of the sentence. But actually, in terms of the verb expectations, the model did extremely well. And now I can show you that, so this is a third continuation. I actually don't know what's going to happen here, so let's try it out. The athlete who the restaurant, that the actor, oh, sorry. I screwed that up. Let's try that again. Well, it gave me a different random continuation. The girl who the restaurant is trying to woo is also one of Israel's best, it seems, period. And you can see that this is also a success. So this is noun 1, noun 2, verb 2, verb 1. Does great. So this is what I consider pretty impressive syntactic performance. And you can play with these models yourself. It's a lot of fun, and you can learn a lot about what you'll find is that the model is extraordinarily well syntactically behaved. The meanings are sometimes a little weird. And that's the state of the art in text generation.